Hello and welcome to the very first Revolution Spotlight episode. In this series, we aim to showcase the new and up-and-coming talent in a competitive scene. We hope with constructive criticism of gameplay submitted by these players, we can help them integrate into communities and successfully form new teams or join existing ones. The first player appearing on Spotlight is Secture from Norway, who is currently a free agent on top mid for him. Kicking it off is a simplex CTF game with random fours. I'm Vaughano, and I'm delighted to be joined by Adversary from Team Deception. How you doing?
Alright, mate, yeah, I'm doing good. How about you?
I am all good. I'm
Yeah,
very, very good in the hood.
nice. So let's just get cracking with this gameplay.
The
So,
first thing I saw, he missed the OS jump, and I would say go for the OS jump straight away most of the time, but it depends on your team strategies, because getting the OS off the start is very, very important. However, you shouldn't always stress OS control necessarily in the beginning, because people will capitalize on it because they know you're going for it.
yeah, definitely. Like, there's two things you can do at the start. You can either bait the overshield or go and get it. Like, depending on your team, like, you should either do one or the other. You shouldn't, like, two of you shouldn't try to do one thing, two of you shouldn't try to do the other. You have to be on the same page. But yeah, as you can see here, he shouldn't be recovering the flag, but he was weak. Like, he could have just got another teammate to do it. Like, as you can see, Sector tried to do everything by himself and he got punished for it. But yeah, that's just unfortunate.
Staying alive is the most important aspect of this game as well. You don't want to give up needless deaths. The whole point of the game is to stay alive, and as well as communicating and doing other stuff. But the longer you stay alive, the more important it is.
Yeah, definitely. The longer you stay alive, the more you're helping out your team. But whether it's directly or indirectly, like, staying alive does make a big difference. Like, I don't know, just as you can see here, he pushes into the base for some reason. Like, I think he manages to get away with it because the other team aren't expecting it. That's another thing I'd like to move on to, like being aggressive. Like, there's the difference between controlled aggression and just being over aggressive. And right there, in my opinion, he was being a bit over aggressive, but I suppose it worked out in the end, and it doesn't really matter. You can't really fault him if it worked out.
You definitely cannot. Those sneaky flag caps can be quite crucial, even if you don't get them to your base. It can still get the team off guard.
Yeah. So as you can see here, he spawns gold and he tries to push top gold. I'm not really sure why he's staying around gold. In my opinion, he should just push because three of his teammates are trying to keep map control, but he does anyway, which is good. See, he manages to sneak to the flag, catches someone off guard, and I think he's gonna pull the flag. It'll be a pretty. Yeah, he does. Yeah, this is a really smart pull because they have numbers, and his teammate has map control, and he does a really good job of running it down for P court. Generally, I wouldn't say run it bottom mid, but if your team has full map control, then yeah, you should do.
You can run it P2 as well as P1 in that situation as well. It does depend a lot on where the team is.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if you don't have full control, you can still run it P2 because you do get a lot of cover and you can get into position for your teammates.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't necessarily agree with that play right there, even though he got away with one kill. He challenges two people P cuts and ends up going courtyard, challenging the guy P2 when he's still weak. Again, I'm going to stress the importance of staying alive. He made a mistake challenging two guys on P cuts, which is very bad as it is because you're by yourself. However, if he could stay alive on his flag and get shots from P2, it would be a completely different scenario, and he'd be able to stay alive and then anchor his team a lot more.
I have to say that most lesser experienced players like try to challenge kills more and try to clean up that 1 or 2 kills. But even though those 1 or 2 kills aren't necessary, you should always strive to kill the players which matter. Like, say this guy down here in courtyard, he didn't have to kill him, but then again he also didn't have to run a flag. I'm not sure why he did, but I think it worked out and his teammates getting it pretty far.
Straight off spawn.
Yeah.
Challenges the guy on flag and jumps out of his base. There's nothing you could really do in that situation other than
drop down and touch the flag. That's what I would have done personally.
Rather than challenge the guy instantly.
Yeah, exactly. Because when someone picks up the flag, you have that 1 or 2 second delay where he can't shoot you. So by that time, he could have easily dropped down and then like ran basement. And either that flag guy could just run it or try to chase him. And if the flag guy chases him, then you're pretty much baiting him in for your teammate.
He drops P2 and has a shaky BR. Seems to be unaware of the guy flanking behind him rather than staying in a
Yeah.
power position. That's something that also is crucial in Halo, having power positions, especially on Simplex. P2 is so crucial to hold as well as top mid and gold, depending on where your team is, because you can get shots on everything. And staying in that position, he didn't have to challenge there. He could have just stayed at P2, waited for that person to come up because they're at a disadvantage. And he just got spawn killed twice there, which is very, very unfortunate. There's nothing he could really do.
Well, I suppose I wouldn't say blame his teammates, but I think that's down to communication. Like both of the times he got killed there, like he didn't know where anyone was. So maybe that's down to communication, or maybe that's down to him not being aware enough. One or the other. But here he does a really good job of killing the flag guy. But I think he could have stopped that if he jumped up a bit earlier. But it doesn't really matter because he gets the flag really far.
He was too focused on the guy bottom mid, like
Yeah.
you mentioned earlier. Too focused on cleaning up the kills. You got to have faith in your teammates. Even if it's team throwdown or random fours, you still have to have faith in your teammates to get a kill. You can't always get every single kill.
Yeah, exactly. As I said before, like what most newer players do is they get too fixated on getting that 1 or 2 extra kills which aren't necessary. Like right here, I'm not sure why he challenges, even though he was a shot down, but he gets away with it anyway and gets the kill, which is nice.
I still like the way
Unfortunately,
he's been playing though. You know, he's had some
know,
very good counter caps, very nice
playing
movement
quite
around the
aggressive
map.
as well, yeah. But I think, in my opinion, in this game, he's been really aggressive, and his teammates are trying to like reward him for that by baiting him. And like, I don't know, they seem to be in sync and trying to help each other out. But obviously, there are some points where he just pushes randomly for no reason. But I suppose that is down to it being randomly custom, not a natural team to him.
Very true. It's still good to have a plan, even if it is random fours. I personally say to anybody who wants to improve in Halo, getting a team is obviously crucial because you can learn together and you can learn more about team play. But even if you play random fours or even throwdown, you can still learn from what you did wrong in games afterwards. You don't always have to necessarily play with good players to get good, even though it definitely is hugely beneficial.
That right there was really unfortunate. I think that was down to his teammate not having map control. I'm not sure why he ran it. Like considering one of his teammates is down low and not having P control.
Seems like more of a forced flag run than an actual plan one. Like it just seemed he was so focused on getting the flag caps rather than getting any kind of control or helping his teammates out of control.
Yeah.
Forcing flag caps you don't always necessarily need to do. It always depends on the situation. Like right there again, talking about like trying to force a situation and being overly aggressive. He was practically one shot running a guy bottom goal, charging him, and he knew he was there. You don't need to charge and kill people. You get your shields back and then surprise them and capitalize on their mistakes rather than them capitalizing on yours.
Yeah, exactly. He just nailed it. Here was too fixated on the guy P1. I'm not really sure if he should have done that. He saw his teammate was flanking. Instead, what I would have done is I would have pushed to their flag and helped out Divine or Dev, whoever they. I think it's Divine, yeah.
Yeah, it is Divinity.
Yeah, I'll try to help him out instead of like getting too fixated on the flag guy. Because realistically, that flag guy wasn't going to get any further considering his team was behind him. And right here, this is pretty weird. If you miss a jump like 2 or 3 times, just give up on it unless it's crucial that you make it. Like right there, it wasn't really important that he made it, but yeah, I don't know why he kept on trying even though he failed like 5 times. I suppose it doesn't really matter.
Probably trying to go for this OS top mid, which he does get. Gets nice shots on the guy who was charging him top mid. I like his move with the OS, even though his OS is gone. He was still, in essence, the bait. When you're the OS guy, you essentially are like a sore thumb. You stick out a lot, and you want to be as much of a distraction as you can, as well as a tank as you can. Because the OS just gives you so much power over the other team, and if you capitalize on it properly, you'll be able to get a cap out of it, or at least gain control.
Flag reset. Flag.
What does he do right here? Right. He does a really good job of getting P control. Really smart here. I'm not sure why he goes back to his flag, but let's see what he thinks.
I don't like jumping off.
Exactly.
I really don't like jumping off there.
I agree. I definitely think he should have stayed up there. Because even if he got that 1 kill like on his flag, like what's that gonna do? At the end, like that guy's probably baiting himself so his team could get map control, and like Sector just fell in for the bait there by chasing that flag guy, the guy on his flag. I don't know. Sector just seems so fixated on getting like kills instead of like looking at the bigger picture. He seems more focused on like that moment instead of looking at the whole game, like as a like in general. And right here gets really nice out BR, really good. I still don't think he should have died there. Like I reckon he could have played it better. I dropped down and used the wall as covers. I think
He could
could
have
have
stayed
challenged him.
P2 as well as he could have stayed P2 or gone top mid rather than charge the flag. Although
Yeah, that
charging the flag is nice, you get behind him and get a nice kills. You're still going to be in a position where the team's going to kill you. There again, overextension, complete overextension. He saw 3 guys at gold and just completely
committed to
charged them
one.
blindly
Yeah.
and focused on 1 kill.
Let's see what gets a nice nade on flag guy, and he almost
Nice
destroys
shot.
someone. Yeah.
Oh, almost killed the guy with the
Yeah.
storm rifle. That'd have been embarrassing.
Protect your flag.
I do want to remind the viewers now that this is the American settings, not the top mid settings, which European gamers are familiar with, because as you can see there is a railgun P1. We don't have a railgun or a scat shot on the map. So just be aware that this is American settings and not top mid settings. Though they might be integrated in the future, we don't know. Love his positioning here. He's top P, he goes top mid, gets a lovely double kill with the railgun. That weapon is so effective. Unfortunately he dies,
Escort your
but
carrier.
he had the power weapon in a power position and used it correctly there. If he did that all the time, that would just be such a game changer.
Yeah. Not really. Let's see what he does here. I'm not sure why he goes bottom mid,
Reset.
but it's just so weird what he does. But at some point he plays really aggressive and really well, but in other points he just derps and does random things.
It's like he doesn't have a plan on what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. Just
He
does whatever he thinks the flow of the game is. Like,
Challenged the guy top mid, went bottom gold, changed his mind 3 times on what he needed to do. If you've got a plan, stick with it.
Stick to
Even
it,
though it
yeah.
might not work out, you still have to stick with it because,
exactly. You could get lucky, or you know.
or the more you think about it, the worse you'll play.
Enemy flag.
Yeah, I suppose 'cause you'll take too long making the decision.
Kill their carrier.
Correct.
What does he do here? He does.
Enemy flag.
This is quite questionable in my opinion. Let's see if he gets away with it.
I like it. You know,
I know.
I mean, charging out the basement isn't always the best strategy, but he does stay alive. He gets a touch on that flag, a crucial touch. Flag was a few seconds away from returning, and
Yeah.
he gets in his base with the flag, which, even though it might be questionable in the beginning, it still worked out because he
Yeah.
got a touch. His aggression paid off that time, and he gets a very nice flag cap out of it.
Yeah. Not sure why he chased the guy P1, but it worked out I suppose. In my opinion, he should have just stayed on P2, or at least get back to P2 now that after he killed the guy P1. I'm not sure why he stays down here for too long.
I think it was more the fact. I think it was more the fact that he could safely kill that guy and get control.
Yeah.
He gets a nice railgun kill there, and then jumps out and challenges a guy again. He challenges so much on no shield. It's just almost like he doesn't care how many times he dies, which is okay to think. But there is a time and a place to not care about how many times you die or when you
Yeah.
die. If he stays P1 there, he's a thorn in the enemy side and they have to kill him. He doesn't have to do anything. All he has to do is stay alive and then possibly do a flank or some kind of cheeky kill with the railgun.
Gets a really nice flag ball here when his teammate has full map control.
Flag. Take
I think he gets it in, but I'm not sure. Gets it quite far anyway.
We'll have to wait and see. He sees the flag guy on his flag, chokes a jump.
your flag.
Instead of trying to get the jump again, he goes peeks. He's getting shot from gold. Like the heads up play there. He learned from last time. If you fail a jump more than twice, or even once in that instance, then just go a different route. I think this is going to be pretty much the game. So from my perspective, overall, his good points. He did have great movement around the map, even though he was overly aggressive in some points. But his movement overall, there's nothing that I can really say that was negative about it. Did really well with the OS, and he had good positioning at times.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. It's mainly like chasing kills or challenging when he's weak. Like that's what he needs to work on if he wants to better himself. But other than that, he's quite a solid player who moves around the map quite well with his team.
Alright guys, that's gonna do it for this gameplay. If you want your gameplay submitted, submit it to us and we'll commentate over it. Tune in next time for the second episode. Keep it here.